Neil Canch from Gunroom TV, absolute pleasure. It's an absolute honour to have you on Gunroom TV. You know, you're a bit of a legend in this industry, as you know, as one of the premium gun reviewers which we have out there. To start with, I tell you, how did you get into this? What drew you into suddenly going, I want to review guns?
I think it all stemmed from when I was actually after purchasing a shotgun, and I went on YouTube to look for a decent review. Couldn't really find one, or the ones that I could find were a little bit, I don't know, more advert-like than a review. Do you know what I mean? And I thought, well, okay, I'll get it anyway, the shotgun in question. Don't ask me what shotgun that was. It was quite a few years back now. But I bought the shotgun and I thought, you know what, after running it a little bit, I'm going to do my own review, see how it goes. So, cut a long story short, I chucked out a review on YouTube, got some pretty good feedback, and I thought, okay, quite good, you know. It's sort of a bit of a boost when you get nice comments. So that was it, really. Each gun that I got, I thought I'd review it, and then it just pretty much escalated over the years. And you know, before you know it, I get my RFD, which makes things a lot easier. Start writing for Gun Mart Shooting Sports magazine as well, again, which sort of gets me content, you know, so I can write about it, I can throw out videos, and that's it, really. So getting pretty busy with it.
So that's what it's all about. You come to a show like this, the Practical Shooting Show here in West Point in Exeter. The most important part is to be able to have people like yourselves you're out there, you're a publicly known figure, and to be able to have you. Shh, don't tell anybody. Nobody's going to see this video. Don't worry about it. The most important part is to have someone like yourself who can come out here and actually talk about seeing the new faces in the sport, the new space, the new companies within the industry. How have you found it's changed over, say, last 5 years?
I think seems to be doing well. There's no doubt about that, especially the practical side of it. It's really taking off. I think it's drawing the younger generation in, especially like the gamers, the airsofters, the gamers. I think it's pulling them in, kids. You know, I think it's really sort of escalating, if that's the right word. But so the world's your oyster, you know, and shows like this that are pushing it, you know, it's awesome. You know.
I think this is the beauty is you've got your Northern Shooting shows, you've got your game fairs. Now, obviously, with the Tunnel and Mike Darby bringing this down here to West Point, I think it's a fantastic opportunity. I think people forget, though, Neil, is that when we have to go to the Midlands show or you go to the Northern Shooting show, we have to drive 4 hours plus to go to a shooting show. And so it's actually quite nice to have it back down here in the south to bring the shooters down from up north, if that's the right thing to say. But it's giving people that choice, isn't it? And that again is the important part. How do you see? Because obviously you've been to Iowa, for example. Do you think there's opportunities for that here in the UK?
I think we've got potential. By the way, I had to travel 4 hours down here.
There's always one.
I'm a Midlander. I'm not a Northerner.
There's always one.
Show-wise, I mean, stuff like this can only get bigger. You know, it just needs the support. It needs the coverage. You know, and it needs the advertising. You know, magazines. I mean, they need to sort of push shows like this.
See, I find that interesting because you've gone very much what I would call old school, which is magazines. People, if you take a look nowadays, it's very much more social media, and you are an example of that with your channel, which you have. I think taking a look at how social media has changed, very much your Instagrams, your Twitters, your Facebook, etc. The Instagram, I find, it's a very powerful tool. Now, how are you finding because obviously it's the next generation are not necessarily going to flick through a magazine. It's very nice to have it on the coffee table. How are you finding the digital change moving across for advertising?
I think it's going to be the way to go. You know, these guys have got it, hit the nail on the head. Gunroom TV is definitely the way to go, like the platform that they've got, because as you know, YouTube, one or two of us have had trouble with YouTube in the past, whether that was staff at YouTube or bots or whatever they want to call them. remains to be sort of, proven or whatnot. But I think as far as like advertising goes and like media, like you say, social media, magazines are great. I don't know whether you like to pick up a magazine, look through a magazine, a gun mag.
I do. I do. Yeah. But
I do myself. But to be fair, and I write reviews as well. But if I'm looking at a review myself, I don't know whether it's a lazy thing. I like to just press play. And I think that's But
this is what we're becoming, though, isn't it?
It is, and I think kids of today, or the younger generation, they just want to press play. They don't want to sit there with a magazine. The only time I generally sit with the magazine, I'm probably going to get fired for this, is whether I'm A, on the loo, B, on a plane, or lying on a beach. That's generally when I'm reading a magazine.
And it's good. I think there are some awesome magazines out there. Trust me. Don't get me wrong. The coverage they have is absolutely fantastic. The exposure they have, and they are very niche into what they have. I think when you're taking a look at with what we have within the practical shooting and with exactly what government TV is trying to achieve, the next generation is going to be multimedia. The multimedia is having that platform where shooters are able to post videos, shooters are able to post reviews, and they're all there, all on a common denominator to achieve a common goal. And it's also bringing in all the different divisions, so the clay pigeon shooters, your F-class shooters, your airsofters, your practical shotgunners, your LBPers, everybody can all come to a common ground to achieve a common goal. And that's what I think is where this is with government TV, I think is that's the way we're going to go.
Yeah, definitely. And it's been a long time coming, I think, because, like I said earlier, I've had trouble with YouTube, a lot of other YouTubers, gun tubers I like to call them out, and I think it is a shame that, excuse the pun, magazines may sooner or later fold. I worked another one in there. Hopefully they won't, but in 10 years' time, I mean, I used to write for 22 Shooter magazine that went for about a year. Bill Thomas, he does a lot of airsoft stuff. Bill Price Thomas, a good friend of mine, he writes for Gunmark, and he does all the airsoft stuff. He's big in the airsoft world anyway. But he done 22 Shooter magazine, which was just sort of 22 rimfires. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Yeah, I can remember it.
But it was only about a year or so, and then that was it. They just weren't making enough money because it's cost them like 20, 30 grand just to put the magazine on the shelf. That's the initial outlay they've got to put it on the shelf in, say, W.H. Smith before they've even sold a copy. And I think that's the problem we're getting when you can go on YouTube or, Gunroom TV for free. You can click on it for free.
I think it's fascinating because one of the things which you do as your reviews, as your guns, is that nowadays we all want to go out there, we want to get as much information as we possibly can. Now, yes, you can go out and go and get a magazine, you can flick through it and hope they do a review on, say, a Soga 3000. No, alternatively, they will want to go out and go run a review on an M2, they want to do an SX3, they want to look at the 3000. Where do they go to get that information? Well, now it's the internet. You go on, I want to do a review, I want to find out what the features and benefits are on each of those individual guns to give themselves the well-informed information to go and get that gun which is going to best fit them. You can't get that unless you have all the back reviews currently, unless you may be able to go digitally online and go and look at it and pull it all up. But YouTube is, without a doubt, and this is where you come in, this is what you're good at, you do an honest and open review on a gun. So for somebody who wants to go and buy a 3000, for example, or a M2, can come and see you because you're now renowned in the sport of doing honest reviews to say, yes, okay, in my eyes, it's got these features, it's got this benefits, I like this over that gun, which as to an uninformed shooter will give them a massive help or a step up that ladder to go, well, actually, to get me what I want to achieve, I'm going to start here. Was that what you were trying to achieve?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, with a magazine for a start, you don't actually see the gun working, do you? It's just a photograph.
Might see a cartridge coming out, but that's about it. Yeah.
It's all it's all still. So a lot of magazines are sort of going digital, where they'll sort of throw in their own video reviews, and a lot of magazines now have got their own YouTube channels, so they are starting to sort of see the light, so to speak. But yeah, I think with video, you cannot beat it. You know.
You say a picture says 1,000 words. Imagine what a video does.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I get sent quite a few bits of stuff now, and it's good to. I generally I'll throw out 2 videos on one gun. I'll do like what I call a range time review, where I'm just shooting it, no talking, just shooting. All right, a little bit of talking, just shooting it. Then I'll do the actual separate video with like a tabletop review, where we sort of pull it apart, and you know, I generally fail if I'm doing a field strip, and you know, that's generally what happens.
Won't do on a KL12, let's put it that way.
But yeah, the beauty of it is, you know, people get to see it working, you know, and with my channel, the foundation of my channel is I've kept it honest. There are a lot of, YouTube's great, but there are a lot of people out there that are in the pockets of big companies that have, you know, they can't say anything bad about something, whereas I kind of like to slag stuff off in a way.
No, you do an honest review, Neil.
I do an honest review, but yeah, it is. I've never reviewed a gun that's absolutely perfect yet. You know, whereas some people do. You know, I find that on the airgun channels. You know, you get a lot of airgun channels that are. It's still like they're doing an advert for the company, and I don't know. I never want to really go that way. I want to just be sort of in your face, you know. I've not got a sort of fancy camera equipment. I just get in there with my Sony Handycam, and I'm reviewing it, you know.
But that's one of the things which separates you from a lot of the other reviewers out there, Neil, is that you do a warts and all review. As you say, some people come along and they will candy cover it. I don't know if that's the right phrase to use. But one of the things which, you know, I've known you now for quite a few years. I've seen you out on the circuit. I bumped into you overseas. I bumped into you in the UK at a lot of shows. You do honest reviews, and it's very much one thing I learned a long time ago is if you don't want an honest review on something, you don't ask a northerner, because you get a straight honest view. You know what's right, you know what's black, and you know what's white. But it's people, and I think this is one of the things why you are successful in what you do is because you do exactly that, and I think that's what you're trying to achieve, is it not?
Well, yeah, absolutely, because at the end of the day, people are going to watch a review to see whether they can part with their hard-earned cash. That's what it's all about. Totally. It's about that, the dough. You know, and you don't want to watch a video and end up buying a bag of spanners when someone has said on YouTube, oh, it's the best thing since sliced bread, when all they're trying to do is get sales because they've been sent a freebie. You know, that's why I started it. You know, if it's a bag of spanners, I've got to be polite because I'm on camera. I'll say it is, you know, if something needs redoing a little bit, I'll say it is. Don't get me wrong, I'm no expert. I'm no gunsmith. I don't class myself as an expert. I enjoy my shooting. I enjoy the videoing. You know, my aim is to save someone a few quid, help them make the right decision, in my honest opinion.
Do you know, that's the important part. I think you've hit the nail on the head. When you're going out there and you're going to buy a gun, you want to get the best value for money. Okay, reliability in practical shooting is without a doubt the number one thing you can have. There are lots of guns, LBP, mini rifle and shotguns, which cover a plethora of different types of looks and styles. Some are more practical than others, some aesthetically are beautiful but then have flaws in them. And I think this is where you're right in the fact that you've got to get the right gun for what you are trying to achieve. And having a layman, in inverted commas, which you are, because you are not an expert, as you clearly, right, honestly say, and that's one of the things which makes it so perfect when you do your reviews. That is, without a doubt, the way it should be. And you know, from me, you know, being representing Gunroom TV and meeting you it's a pleasure, because that's exactly how it should be. So. Mate, feeling the love. Listen, Neil, thank you so much for coming and for spending time with us here at the Gunroom TV. We'll see you next time.